up? It's on Sayasum. So today we're about to talk about my favorite superhero of all time. She's getting a movie. She's getting a movie, guys. It's the one, the only, Captain Marvel. Yeah. I actually have a little Captain Marvel action figure, like right there. You see, like the red feet. That's her. I also have a Miss Marvel one over there. But anyways, we're here to talk about Miss Marvel because, Captain Marvel, because a lot of things came out about her movie at SDCC. And I just wanted to talk about a few of those. So, Nick Fury's going to be in the movie. Very interesting. You know why that's interesting? Because he has 2 eyes. No eye patch. You know why that's even more interesting? This movie's set in the 90s. So, what I think and what's most likely going to happen, we're going to find out how Nick Fury lost an eye and how he got the eye patched. Quality. But then it brings into question, how is this movie set in the 90s? And you cast Brie Larson, and she's not going to be Avengers 3, but probably Avengers 4. And she's probably going to look the exact same. How do you explain? Well, guess what? It's also been announced that they're going to deal with the quantum realm. Now, if you don't remember what the quantum realm is, the quantum realm is the realm that was in Ant-Man, where you shrink down too tiny, and then you go into the quantum realm and can never get out unless you're Ant-Man and do some sick stuff. Let's see who's in there. Wasp, who I've already theorized is coming out, and it's already kind of been said because she got casted. So go check out the Marvel video with Ant-Man in there. And 2, Captain Marvel. So what I think is going to happen in this movie is that there's going to be some shit that goes down. All of the shit goes down. Captain Marvel will get trapped in the quantum realm. Nick Fury will lose an eye. And then in Avengers 4, or in Ant-Man itself, she will get out of the quantum realm. And because the quantum realm has no age, no time, you don't age. So she'll wake up and be like, oh shit, it's been 20 odd years. Guys, that's crazy. So then it's kind of like a whole Captain America thing, which is kind of funny. Because, because Cap was frozen for more than 20 years. But, it's a thing. It's okay. It's fine. So it's very interesting. Very interesting to think about, especially if I figure out how Nick Fury lost his eye. I think it's just going to be a big old battle, and Captain Marvel's going to get stuck, and Nick's going to lose an eye. Now, do you want to hear what the battle entails? The Kree and the Skrull. Oh my god. If you don't know what that means, you're not a nerd. You're not a comic book nerd, I assume. Or a cartoon nerd. Because if you watch the old Avengers Assemble cartoon, or you read the comic books, the Kree and the Skrull are very interesting. They're they very hate each other. They hate each other a lot. Absolutely hate each other. And have a whole giant war because of it. And here's the interesting thing. The Kree are how Captain Marvel gets her powers. Now what basically happens, Captain Marvel, who is a Kree dude, comes down to Earth and is chilling with the Earthlings and chilling with Carol and kind of falls in love with her. And then a big giant explosion happens, and then his thing on his belt that made him look human malfunctions, and Carol gets Kree blood in her, and so she becomes half Kree, and that's where she gets her powers from. And then she originally became Miss Marvel because Captain Marvel, so then Miss Marvel. But then Captain Marvel died, and then she had a nice heartfelt moment with Cap, Captain America, and he's like, why don't you just take the mantle of Captain Marvel? And she's like, I don't think I can, go to his standards. I can't, I'm not that high. And he's like, Captain America's like, bitch, what? What you talk about, Carol? You're great. And she's like, okay. So then she takes the Captain Marvel name, and that's where it comes from. So it's really awesome that they announced that the Krees are going to be here. So that means we pretty for sure like Captain Marvel is going to go that route of getting her powers from the Kree, which is how she does. Because, you know, some of the other superheroes in Marvel so far have not gotten their powers the way that they do in the comic books. Specifically, Scarlet Witch and Pietro got it from the Infinity Stone. When in the comic books, they are mutants. They're the daughter and son of Magneto, so they're mutants, and that's how they get their powers. But they got it from Infinity Stone in the movies, so that's okay. But this one, we're actually going to go for the Kree. And here's the more interesting part. The Skrulls are coming. Now, if you don't know about the Skrulls are the Kree's mortal enemy. I think. There might not be mortal enemies, but they hate each other. Anyways. The Skrulls can transform into anybody they want. And take their powers. Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, that's what they do. They do it a lot of the time. They transform into people. And there's this whole thing called the Skrull invasion in the comic books and also in the Marvel Avengers TV show, Avengers Assemble TV show. Go watch the Avengers Assemble TV show. It's goddamn great. Captain Marvel was in there. It was Miss Marvel, actually, I believe. But she was great, and I love her, and she's amazing. And go watch it because all of this is in the cartoon, actually. So, the Skrull invasion is basically where the Skrulls start taking people, taking Avengers and stuff, and, you know, taking over their bodies, basically, taking over their personalities. And in the cartoon, I believe, Mockingbird is the first one that a Kree takes and then takes over her body. Doesn't take over her body, but, like, takes her persona and starts pretending that she's actually Mockingbird. And this is why it's called the Skrull invasion, because it starts invading the Earth. And, yeah, so it invades all the superpowered people. And I think Tony was the last one, and he started figuring out everything, because Nick was telling him everything that was going down, that, you know, the Skrulls were invading, and, like, nobody's safe, and, like, you don't know who's who, and all that stuff, and it was very interesting. And what's the most interesting about all of this is that, if you don't remember, as I said before, the Captain Marvel movie is set in the 90s, which means before most of the MCU takes place. Now I say before most because it goes Captain America and Captain America and Peggy Carter. Those stuff take long before the 90s, and then the beginning of, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, like Star-Lord being taken, takes place before the 90s. It takes place in the 80s. And of course, all the superheroes, most of the superheroes anyways, were born before the 90s, but that doesn't count. But you get what I mean. You get what I mean. I'm going a little off tangent, but you get it. So, what's interesting, does that mean, and since the Skrull are going to be in this movie, does that mean that the Skrull have always been on Earth? So, a future Avengers movie might be the Skrull invasion movie, which would be awesome. And it also is kind of awesome that there might be Skrulls already among us, already among the Marvel people. And that would be so cool to see. Imagine, there's already Skrulls. And since it takes place in the 90s, that was before anything. And the Skrulls have been here since the 90s, have been in the MCU since the 90s. So, doesn't that say that anybody could be a Skrull? That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Like Avengers, like 5. There would be like a Skrull invasion movie, and like all of a sudden, like Black Widow's like, "Hey guys, I've been a Skrull the whole time. How you doing?" That'd be awesome. And that's definitely not how it's gonna happen. It's probably more gonna be like one by one. All the Avengers start getting taken, and then, you know, the last man standing is someone, and then finds out that everybody's actually a Skrull, but not for like, they haven't been a Skrull forever, just within that movie. But it's amazing. That'd be so cool to see. Like, it's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited because I love Captain Marvel. She's my favorite superhero, as I've said. She's amazing. There's even a video of me, if you don't know, with like the face paint. It's the thumbnail. It says I'm Captain Marvel. I have face paint on it. It's real cool. But yeah, that's gonna be the Captain Marvel movie. I think it's 2019, and I'm super excited for it. Oh my god, you don't even know. Oh, I just want it. Because once the movie comes out, you know what that means? All the Captain Marvel merch. Like, yeah, there's merch out now. But after the movie comes out, all of the merch is coming out, and I can get all of the Captain Marvel things. Because I only have a few Captain Marvel things. But now I can get all of the Captain Marvel things. I can even be her in a superhero thing. I can just make a cosplay, but it's easier to just buy it. But I also want to talk a little bit about the suits. As you can see here, there's some action piece set suits and then the suit. So the suit looks a little bit more armory than spandex. So I like it. The costume looks like the costume from the comic books and cartoons. So that's great. It does look more armory, as I've said, kind of like Captain America. It's more armory than the spandex. So that's good because, you know, in the comic books, in the comic books, we know that everyone wears some spandex and stuff. So, you know, the MCU movies took it a little bit up, and they're like, let's make everybody look actually decent and actually put them in costumes that make sense, which means armor. So that's really nice. And I like the costume concept art so far of Captain Marvel, and I'm very excited to see the movie. If you can't tell, I'm super excited. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I was about to say this video is a little short, and then my camera told me, hey, it's past 10 minutes, and then I'm like, that's not short. I mean, it's short, but it's shorter than some of my videos, but it's not that short. Anyways, hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to our button, which will post us to become part of AU Avengers Unlimited, and hit like my Witcher Master Sword. And comment down below what you think about all this stuff that I talked about. The set in the 90s, Nick Fury having 2 eyes, the Kree and the Skrull invasion and her suit, and all that good stuff. Do you like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel? I wanted Charlize Theron, but I don't know. I wanted Charlize Theron as Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson looks good. I've only had one movie with her in it, which was the King Kong Skull Island. Maybe I've seen her in more movies, but I've never really noticed. So I've had Charlize Theron in a lot of my movies, and I wanted her to be Captain Marvel, but it's okay. Brie Larson looks great. I'll probably fall in love with her. It's gonna be fine. Anyways, this is actually my last video in these sets of Comic-Con videos, which I'm very excited for, and my voice can finally rest, and I can finally go and edit, and it'll be all good, and I can go take a nap now, because I'm tired. And yeah, see you dudes later. Bye!
It's fun to be in love with an ostrich. And if you haven't tried